Okay, we're going to get a Parks bond update from Mr. Fana.
Good morning, Mayor, Commissioners. Armando Fana, Assistant City Administrator. Thanks for hanging in on a long morning. We'll try to make it brief so we can get you through it and get you out of here. As you remember, in March of last year, of 2020, the voters overwhelmingly passed the $30 million park bond. I think we had over 70% approval, which unprecedented, I think, in any election. And so we're in the process now of implementing the $30 million, and it's really a team effort. We have Parks and Rec, Leah and her staff, and they'll be presenting to you in a minute. Engineering, Kevin Volbright, who's here, Lorenzo Rivero, who's been hired as our project manager for these projects. Of course, our legal team, procurement, and we're going to be hiring a position specifically in procurement. Both Lorenzo's position and the procurement position are paid by the park bond because we need specialized attention on this because we have a 3-year window in order to spend most of the money. So we have the time, the clock is ticking. And then, of course, our finance team and legal team. So it's a team effort. It's all really important. And we've made some good progress, and Leah's going to begin to present some of that progress that we've made over the past couple months and what you can look forward to in the next couple of months. Leah, take over.
Good morning, Leah Rockwell, the Director of Parks and Recreation. So I'm going to try and be as brief as possible because I know it's been a long morning for you guys. So let me just keep going here. Page down. Enter. I did. Okay. I don't know why. Okay, so we're going to go through the project list, smart sheets, the CIP website for the public, projects completed, projects in progress, and then some upcoming projects. So there's going to be some slides that you're really not going to be able to read a lot of the information, but all of this information is on the city's website or will be. So this is a project list and the funds as they were approved for the bond. And then the city has started with smart sheets, and through our IT department and engineering, we are putting together these smart sheets that are going to be dashboards for all of the projects that we're doing in the city. And it can tell you where we are in the process, whether it's started, whether it's in progress, whether it's completed, whether we're behind. So green means we're in a good place, yellow means we're okay, and red means we are behind schedule. So these dashboards are really important for us so that we can see where we're going, and these will also be available to the public on the website to see for each project. Again, you're not going to be able to see this, but this kind of just shows you a Gantt sheet of how much money is being spent on each of the projects and where we are in that spending of the projects. And this is what you'll really see on the website. Each project and what it consists of and where they are. And then if you click on where it says Parks Bond and you find a project that you want to click on, then this is what you'll see. You'll see the individual project, for instance, Howard Park Playground and lighting improvements. So we've started that project. We've gotten some cost estimates for the lighting, and we are starting some of the improvements to the sidewalks and the playground. So all of that stuff is moving forward, and you can see that we're anticipating construction to start this spring. So we have the prices coming in on the lighting, and we're anticipating completion of this sometime later this summer. So that you can see how that's all here and what districts what district it is in, as well as the location.
Now, that's on our website now. People can access that.
Yeah, it's up in, yes. And it will be continuing to be updated, so it'll be ongoing updates. So we're going to try and update it, what we said monthly, right? Is that what we're looking at? Monthly updates? Monthly updates, yeah. Because it won't be every day that we're going to go in there, but monthly updates. Okay. So some of the projects, and these are portions of larger projects. So for instance, Dreher Park has $1 million. These are just elements within those projects that we've completed. So we've repaired the bridge, and we've completed a lot of the trail connections within the park, just to show you what we've done. In the Bilmos Paseo, we've enlarged the parking lot configuration, and we've also started working on some other elements in that park. So you guys brought up community engagement at, I believe, one of the last commission meetings. So we've been doing a lot of community engagement. We have been going out to parks, doing intercept engagement, meaning we're there with the clipboard, we're there with designs, we're asking the public who is actually using the parks and using the park elements, what do they like, what don't they like, what are we missing, what do they want more of, what do they want less of. So we have had some of these intercept meetings at our playgrounds, and if you can see here the QR codes on these flyers, they could click on it, and there's a survey that they can fill out from that flyer itself, and then we get that survey with the information on it. So if you can't actually be at the park, you can also click on this and give us your information. So for instance, at South Olive Park playground design, we had a various input that created various designs, which we then went out to the public and asked them to tell us which designs they liked the best. So this is the type of thing that we do. And we work not just with the kids, but also with the parents, because then we get to know where they want the benches to go and where they want to be sitting while their kids are playing and that kind of stuff. We have ordered the Brian Chappell Playground, which we've picked out a design, or we're in the process of ordering it. Sunset Park Playground, we also did the community meeting, and this is the old design. This is what's new that's going to be placed in there. Alice Mickens, the old playground, and then the new playground, and all of these are from community engagement. And then we have Alice Mickens. We are in the process of redoing the basketball court, replacing the basketball stanchions and backboards, as well as all of the fencing. And then we have our bigger projects like Gaines Park Community Center and expansion and renovation. So Gaines Park is one of our oddities. It has funding both from the penny sales tax and from the bond referendum. So we had several community meetings last year with the community about Gaines Park. The funding for the project from the penny sales tax was not enough money to cover what the community had asked for and what they really deserved. So they were fortunate that the bond referendum passed so that we had the additional funding to actually bring their vision to a reality. So right now we're in the process of getting the RFP ready to go out for the architect to finish the design, and once that is done, then we will go out to bid for construction. PHIPPS Park, we're currently working on the handball courts, repainting them and relighting them. If any of you ever go to PHIPPS Park, we are one of the few parks in South Florida that has a handball court, and it is heavily utilized. People from all over come and play handball at PHIPPS Park, and it's incredible watching them play. And then also the racquetball courts are being renovated. So new paint, new lighting, new fencing, getting it ready for play. And then I don't know if you've walked through Jose Marti lately. We've started taking down some of the small concrete walls at Jose Marti to open up the park for a fresh slate for the community to design the park. We've met with the community presidents, the DNA president and vice president, and they're going to hold an event where we're going to make some final decisions on the designs for the park. But they're really keen on us putting in some exercise equipment in this park. They're really excited about that idea. So that's where they're heading. And the Jose Marti bust will also be cleaned up and renovated with Sibile and Art Life. And there's several, all of the other projects are in the planning stages. So of course, you know Currie Park, which I'm sure you'll be getting soon a full presentation on Currie Park, but there have been numerous meetings with the community as well as with the Parks and Rec Advisory Committee and CRAB. Yep, go ahead.
I think Currie's such an important asset. I just wanted to add, and for the public as well, that the renderings. If you can go back to the renderings, we had $8 million allocated in the park bond for Currie Park, plus about another $1 million that the CRA is providing for the planning purposes. And so we took a lot of the ideas that the community provided to us, the input, and this is kind of like the beginning of the master plan, and we've given that to the CRA advisory board, to the Parks Committee as well, and gotten excellent feedback. But the vision for this park and the way it's coming out really got a huge boost recently with an additional about $17 million from the state. So a lot of the things that we see on these renderings and a lot of the ideas will now be able to be funded. We're going to have pretty much this fully realized because of this additional funding from the state. So I wanted to point that out. It's important that this is happening. We've had a lot of fits and starts with Currie Park and a lot of promises made and not kept. This time we're gonna do what we said we're gonna do with Currie Park and create a fabulous park.
And there's also another grant that we're hoping to hear about soon, which is another $1 million that we're hoping to get from Land and Water. So keep our fingers crossed. So we've also had a number of visioning meetings for Blum Park with a variety of partners, with the CRA, with Housing Department, West Palm Beach Housing Authority, and of course Parks and Recreation, to really try and figure out what we can do in the Blum Park, Pleasant City area. With the housing there, it kind of blocks the park off from the community center, which we're just finishing the renovations of the community center. And if we can reconfigure the housing such that the park opens up and becomes more usable and feels safer to the public, then we think it'll be a more successful park, especially with the anchor site coming on board and connecting Northwood, Pleasant City to Currie Park. We really think that it could be something special, and it will be something special. So this just shows you we had some community meetings out on the basketball court, out on the tennis court, as well as we had some virtual meetings through Zoom. Then we have Dreher Park, and one of the things that they're really keen on having is a boundless playground. What is a boundless playground? It's a playground that has no bounds or no boundaries, meaning if you're in a wheelchair or if you're a senior and you can't use steps or you're having challenges getting from place to place, that the playground offers opportunities for everyone. So you'll see that there's ramps there as well as play that is on lower levels as well as higher levels, so everybody can participate. So Dreher Park is very, very excited about putting in a boundless playground, and they want it to be one of their main elements within Dreher Park, which is going to be quite something. They've done a lot of research, and this is just one design that we've gotten from the input. This is not what it's going to look like. This is just what it could be. And then this is a boundless playground that does exist, not in our city, what it looks like. And then another one. So there's so many avenues that we can go with a boundless playground, but these are some of the options that are out there that they're looking at. And here's another one. Bill Moss Paseo, we are working, we just finished the parking lot to enlarge it, but we're now working on renovating the restrooms and adding an additional parking on Hampton. Hampton is a place where a lot of the parents line up to pick up their kids from Belvedere Elementary, and it gets a bottleneck, and then people who want to use the park can't park because they're all lined up there. So we're formulating or formalizing parking spaces for the park and to alleviate some of that problem with Belvedere Elementary pickup and drop off. And Osprey Park, we are working on the trail. The trail there has been clay for many years. Clay is not really ADA friendly when it gets wet. So we're currently putting in a new trail with concrete, and we'll be redoing a variety of other elements within the park, especially that sign, which really bothers me. Lake Mangonia is getting a total facelift to the restrooms, as well as we're putting in some lighting. And that parking lot, if you haven't been there, that parking lot floods. So we're going to fix the flooding in that parking lot and put up a new park sign. So, again, this is a lot of information on one slide, but this is our estimated project timeline for all of the projects. So, we have been told that we have to spend this bond money within 3 years. So we are fast tracking the best that we can all of the projects and working simultaneously on them all. Projects that are not bond related, but we did want to share with you, is this Howard Park Playground, which was paid for through from our regular capital improvement funds. Palmetto Playground, which is about to be open. We just have to put the rubber surface down on it. That was paid for from penny sales tax. And what's not on here is Pleasant City Community Center. We're almost ready to open that, hopefully within the next 2 months. That was also penny sales tax. And we are working on, with our architects on Howard Park with the penny sales tax for the community center there. And Coleman, yes. Coleman actually, the penny sales tax project, Coleman Park, the architect and the engineers are, as we're speaking, finishing up that design to hopefully start construction in October. Any questions?
Questions? Commissioner Lambert.
This is so exciting. Thank you so much. And I can tell the excitement of you and your team on this. And, you know, recently getting a new dog and being out and walking in our parks more than I did before just reiterates how important our parks are for our residents. You know, I walk through PHIPPS Park a lot, and to see the baseball teams playing and the excitement that they have is really wonderful. I wanted to make a few comments. Thank you so much for showing us the CIP page. I had already been visiting that, and I love that those are updated. You know, I sense a little hesitation with the monthly updates. So if that changes and that's not realistic, if you could let us know, because I do know that people visit that site often for the CIP projects, and sometimes it's shared with me that they're not updated that regularly, so I know that people are very interested in this progress. And I was also curious, well, first of all, I want to say thank you for the community outreach that you've done. That's phenomenal. If someone didn't hear about the community input or they didn't see the flyer, is there somewhere on the website that people can go if they're interested in, say, Howard Park, that they could go there and they'd see, oh, there's a community meeting coming up in a week, or I missed that community meeting, there's the link there to...
When we start having more community meetings out in the public, like at the centers or whatnot, we'll notice it on the website as well as Kathleen and her team will do a lot of Facebook and Twitter, hitting it out there to get everybody know what's happening. So, for instance, with the Howard Park one, we sent it out to 5 neighborhood associations, and they shared it with other people, and we got back 130 surveys, which is, we would never get that many people coming to a community meeting ever to give us that kind of input. So we were very happy with the results that we got from that, but we will continue to do those types of things, so yes.
That's great. I'm glad to hear you had such a good response. Do you all have some type of criteria that you use to determine which projects that you seek community input for and which ones you don't?
We seek community input for like almost everything. The only thing we wouldn't would be resurfacing a trail. I mean, that we wouldn't, it just needs, it's maintenance, it needs to be repaired. But park elements like playgrounds, fitness equipment, dog park enhancements, community centers, of course, the tennis courts, those will all be community-driven projects.
Thank you.
Commissioner Fox.
Thank you. I was going to piggyback on that question about community engagement. Thank you so much for all that you've done already. I did have another question, just in terms of the surveys that are going out. You know, you mentioned Howard Park specifically. I've gotten several questions about that one. Is it possible that if we do a survey, can we include the link in the mayor's newsletter or on the website or something? I know that obviously it's very important for the communities that are immediately surrounding these parks, but thinking about city parks, so many people travel throughout the city every day in different parts of a neighborhood they don't live in, and the parks are used by people that are not necessarily living in those areas, and they also want to contribute to,
Right.
participate in what will be going on there. So I'm just curious if there's a way that we can send those kind of things more far and wide, if possible.
Certainly, we can add it to, I'll ask the communications team to add those to the mayor's newsletter. Also, just for point of information, because we go out to the park to do intercepts in the park, we are getting information from the people using the park. And we're just not there one day, we're there several days. We might go during the week, we might go on the weekends, we go at various times of the day. So even those people that may not live in the immediate neighborhood but utilize the park, we get information from them as well. So if they're in the park and they're using the park, we definitely engage with them. And then, of course, others who share their information, but we can add that to the mayor's newsletter.
Well, you can ask the mayor if he wants to put it on.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'll ask Kathleen to ask you
Stuff
to
in my
put it in
newsletter.
there.
All right. Commissioner Show.
Thank you, and thank you so much, Leah, for this presentation. I'm certainly very excited about, having the additional funds out of this Parks Bond. Well before that, we were engaged on Pleasant City, which is almost a reality in front of us, Coleman Park, Gaines Park, and so many thank yous to you for getting creative on Gaines Park to try to find resources to really make that community center what that community has been asking for and deserves for a very long time. Additional thanks on Currie Park, which is amazing. Amazing turnout, really great community engagement. We're very excited for that. But I think what I want to point out too is beyond that, the kind of parks that are being addressed, the park needs that are being addressed beyond that. Fogelman Park, which I know commissioners, a lot of you walked past on our Peace Walk.
Yep.
In the West of Broadway neighborhoods, getting significant improvements there. And then going up and down that corridor, Osprey Park, Ron Chappelle. It's just so fantastic to have that kind of capital infusement. The one that I want to ask about was not a park when we did the Parks Bond, and that is the Pinewood Park Community Park. That when we initiated our Peace Walk, we were all standing in front of the Boys and Girls Club there. If we could continue to look at ways to, take care of some of those clay tiles that are broken on the roof so we can avoid any kind of liability issues and making some improvements. I saw some activity there in the park of, younger people coming out and really enjoying the park, and we want to continue that and really, as that neighborhood builds, make that the community center over there too. So kudos to all of you. Thanks for working hard to not only, get this passed with our residents and get the buy-in from all of the community, but going the extra mile to apply for grant opportunities and really make sure that we're equitably distributing all of our dollars. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. President.
Thank you. Just a quick question. Is Grassy Waters officially part of our park system?
It is not. But it is considered, to me,
But
our
it's very
largest
important
park.
to us. It is. Okay, okay, Commissioner Lambert?
Thanks. I did forget to mention, thank you for bringing up the Boundless Playground. Every time it had been brought up in the past, I was really concentrating on the children that would utilize the park. And recently I was in a meeting where they were talking about the Boundless Park, and they brought to my attention how important it is for parents who might have physical limitations to be able to play with their kids on these parks. I think that's phenomenal that the city is undertaking that. Thank you.
Any other questions, comments? All right, wonderful presentation, some exciting stuff happening.
It's a team.
Well, thanks to your team. Very excited. Good news for our city. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Please be patient with us. That's all I ask. We've got a lot that we're trying to get through, so thank you very much.